Hey everybody, it's Dr. William Clark here for Leadership Conversations. This is the show where we talk about leadership according to the world that matters to you. I had to bring him back, and I'm talking about Herman Dulce. We started this conversation about successful strategies for launching a small business, and I've heard from some of you, and you all have made it clear that you need more of these strategies. So I brought him back just because of that feedback. And Herman, in the last show, we really hit on some good stuff. So I'm glad you were able to join us tonight. How's everything going?
Everything is going great. Thanks for having me back.
Good. Herman, welcome back, my friend.
Back again.
Damn, I hope you must like the show because you keep coming back.
Yes, I love it. Enjoying it. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, you know what, man? In the last show we did together, we were talking about online businesses, and what's funny? People, like you said, people have $1,000 phone in their pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying to themselves, how do I get content out there, man? I don't have what Dr. Clark got. Listen, you see this microphone, this camera, this whole studio setup, man, it took me a minute to get here. And quite frankly, sometimes you wonder if it's worth it. But if you can see Herman in the camera, you can see he has a pair of headphones in his ear. He's on his phone. And honestly, it don't take much to get content out there, digital content out there, whether it's video or audio. You just simply got to hit the record button on a reasonably good camera, preferably an iPhone. Not that I'm trying to plug in or hating on Android. I'm just saying an Apple product can get you what you need. And there you go.
Right.
I mean, Herman, ultimately, a lot of the good, quick videos you're posting are things you just pull out on your phone and say, hey, yo,
real quick. Hey, guys. Yeah. Just thought of something. Don't forget X, Y, and Z. So, of course, with business credit, right? I went to my AT&T store, and it's because I have an LLC, you can write off the entire bill. So what did I do? Hey, guys, I'm at AT&T right now. If you want to write off your entire cell phone bill, make sure you have an LLC, and boom, and the rest is history. And it was a 30-second video. I can't believe all the emails and messages I got from that because people didn't know it. And again, giving valuable content, and the rest is history.
Facts, man. I have an LLC that owns my phone lines, has been for quite a while. Here's a question for you about that. Does the phone bill get reported to your credit, your business credit?
Yes, it does. But it depends on what phone company you're with. I know AT&T does it. I'm not sure about T-Mobile or Sprint, but I know AT&T reports to Dun & Bradstreet, so that does help your business credit score.
And that's important for people to know.
Yes.
While you may save a few pennies going to other companies, certain companies might be doing you a business favor. So you might want to consider looking at the options available to you. But Herman, I need you to get real with this, man, because, we can talk about the good and the fluffy and the bunnies running through the grass and the tulips all day long and business opportunities people can take advantage of. But here's the reality, man. People they're scared. People are nervous. They're full of fear. They got their negative auntie and grandma and cousin in their ear telling them, don't do it. You got a good job. You don't need to start a business. But, we're on here saying, no, start that nonprofit, start that business. So warn us, tell us, give us some insight. What are some of the challenges business owners are going to face when they launch a business?
Let's start with kind of what you just said. We have been conditioned to work, to have jobs. So once you think outside of that box, 90% of the people are going to say you sound crazy. So the naysayers are the first things that you have to put up blinders to, because where you're going, if they haven't gone there before, they're going to say, no, don't do it, because they're projecting their own fears on you. That's number one. The second thing is your business in the beginning is your baby, and it needs to be nurtured a lot. So, my daughter is just turned 1, and there's a lot of hands-on. And so is my business. There's a lot of times, content doesn't make itself. Ideas for the content doesn't make itself. How to refine my product and make it better by watching YouTube videos over and over again. Making marketing flyers or sitting and speaking in rooms with 3 people in them. Before I was sitting in rooms with 100 or 1,000 people. There's a lot of nurturing that comes on with that. So if you don't have the time, or you're not dedicated to the time I don't know what to tell people. I think sometimes I need to go live when I'm just sitting in my man cave or my home office, and the people just watch me just working till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Everyone doesn't post their failures. Mm-hmm. Everyone doesn't post their grinds on social media. There's a lot of behind the scenes things that I think entrepreneurs really need to be ready for. And those dedication man hours are really difficult, and you have to be prepared to put them in if you want your business to be successful. And the last thing I'm going to say is networking, especially if you're shy, if you're an introvert. This might be scary for you also. You have to be prepared. I think the most important thing I've done is network by far. Shaking hands, kissing babies, going to different events, meeting different people. Oh, you do what? Well, I do this. Well, how can I help you? Well, this is what you can do to help me. I can't tell you, at least 10 to 15% of my business is bartering. Hey, can you shoot a video for me? I'll fix your credit. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things, the scary things that, I got to do what? It's long hours. It's people not always being on your side, and shaking hand and meeting strangers. So all three things I continue to deal with to this day, to the new coming entrepreneur.
Herman, you was like, Herman, your bills are $5,000. Yeah, but I can fix your credit.
I can fix your credit. You know what I'm saying?
I love it, man. I love it. I love what you're saying about nurturing your business. You're talking about Bella and nurturing her. And I think all those of us with kids, the interesting thing about that, people want to fix a quick fix so many times, man. And I think some people who are starting businesses feel the pressure because they got kids. They got a Bella at home. They got another kid at home. They got 2 or 3. And I had 2 at the time when I started my second business. Now I have 3. I'll share this. There is no quick fix to the process. A part of it is, getting the response you need for your business, your nonprofit, or your church is a thing. It takes time. Mm-hmm. I will tell you something that worked for me. This goes back to when I shared the story in one of the previous episodes we were together about the podcast I was listening to from Sean Terry, Flip to Freedom. If you ever want to listen to that and learn how to wholesale or understand the real estate game or negotiate or whatever, Sean's old content is still fresh. That's how deep it impacted me. But one of the things I did to maximize my time, Herman, I was in the middle of washing bottles when my kids were small. When I listened to those podcasts, I was listening to the podcast in between writing papers, driving to work, on breaks, on my way to the bathroom while I'm taking a shower. Every moment in my day that was dead was filled with listening to content. And I became my dad.
Yes.
Growing up, and I don't know if your dad was like this, but growing up, my dad was the guy that listened to talk radio. I hate to get in the car with my dad, man. Why you gotta have talk radio on? And lo and behold, I turned into not a talk radio guy, but a podcast guy, which is essentially the modern day talk radio.
Right, essentially. Mm-hmm.
It has become kind of the filler of content. So today, I encourage people, and some parents who are from a different generation say they don't want their kids on social media like that. Depending on the reasons, got it. But if your kid's on YouTube, your kids on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram consuming content relative to a subject matter that's relevant to them, it's the way to learn these days. Because the 5-minute video on IGTV, the 30-minute video on YouTube while you're washing dishes, changing a baby, while you're doing something, cutting the grass, that 30-minute video is not just entertainment, it's an opportunity to get educated when you don't have time to read a book. And then let me just, before you go, Herman, one of my favorite things to do is listen to audiobooks. Audiobooks are like, bro, I know how to speed read. I'm pretty good at it. I don't have time to even do that right now. So the best thing I got, I'm reading 4 or 5 books at a time because I'm listening to audiobooks. Bro.
Lovely.
Bro, I'm getting educated all the time.
The world is changing. I cannot tell you how many times my nephew doesn't understand something. And all I do is type it into YouTube. And when I mean there are 1,000 videos on the topic, the math they teach in these grade schoolers now. What? That's how you multiply now?
It's foolery.
It's foolery. You plug it in there. He watches 2 videos that are 4 minutes long. He's like, oh, I get that. You was in school for 6 hours today and you didn't get that, but we figured this out together.
Free tutoring.
YouTube University. That's what I tell everybody
YouTube
all the time.
Lit.
So
yeah, man.
Lit. Lit.
You have
Absolutely.
to, as a business owner, I think the bigger story that we're talking about is you got to educate yourself, Herman. You got to. I don't know how many times I watch your videos. I don't know how many times I get jacked up looking at your testimonials. Some of your testimonials don't even have sound to it. You just flipping from one screen of an old credit score to another screen of a new credit score. I'm like, yo, I'm ready to go through a wall right now. You know, that's not my screen, but that's somebody else's screen. And I get jacked up over people who have found new life in their business, in their personal life, because I'm like, you know what? If God can do it for you, he can do it for me, no matter what the topic is.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That before and after of me helping clientele is the best part of my day, man. One of the best parts of my day.
And then you said network to expand capacity. I texted. I'm in the process of getting a book edited. It's being edited as we're podcasting, and you can see both my screens open, and I'm not editing a thing.
Wow.
So you said network to expand capacity. You as a business owner need friends that do stuff you're not good at, or you don't have the time to do.
Listen, you don't have the time to do.
Bro, you may be competent in web development, but right now you need to focus on selling your other products. How about you invest that money into a web developer? It ain't going to be your work. It's not going to be the way you do it with that special flair or touch. But man, what's more important, getting the sale or having someone on staff that you hire to get the stuff done? Talk to us about how you've extended your capacity by hiring other people to do other stuff.
Okay. This is by far the scariest thing I think an entrepreneur can do is hiring staff, hiring an intern, or paying somebody. It's like paying a total stranger to watch your kid. You were in the lab. You was in the gym with the baby, and now a total stranger has to watch the kid while you go out to get more leads. It's terrifying. Guys, believe it or not, starting January of this year, I stopped writing the credit repair letters. Shocker. Because literally, it's literally hundreds of clients a month. You will reach your human capacity where you can't do it all anymore. So I couldn't do the business credit applications. I couldn't write 100, 150 letters a week. I couldn't prepare content to post every day. I couldn't do my weekly video I couldn't do it all and then make time to go do speaking engagements. Oh, by the way, I have a full-time job and I have a family. You have to invest really early. I actually suggest people to, really consider part-time assistant or something so that you can expand a lot faster. Don't wait till you reach your capacity to make that decision. Try to do it as not as early as possible, because I know everybody's trying to keep as much of their dollar as possible. But if scaling is important to you, let that be part of your initial process. Like, I think it's almost time for me to get an intern. Let me get one now before I need one. So that you can, if you're the face of the business, you can continue to do what you do, sell, bring in the leads, throw them to your back office and let them take care of it because you found somebody that you trust that they can just close the deal for you.
Man, I think a lot of people don't recognize the old adage that says you got to work on your business, not in your business. And if you don't notice the trends, Herman, of what's going on in your business, you don't know where you're needed the most and where you can hire talent to fill in the gap.
Right.
And I like I said, right now I have a book that's being edited. I have a book that's being turned into an audio book. Now, clearly I have the equipment to record my own audio book, right?
Right.
Why do it myself? Why make the time that I don't have to record an audio book that is literally 13,000 words when I can hire a voice actor to read and record a book that I wrote?
Listen, you know why you realized it? Because you realize what your hourly value is.
Yeah.
You realize what your time is worth. So you got to a point where like, this hour I can maximize, not necessarily making money, but I can maximize it doing something else.
Man.
Yeah. So you know what? If I can do a video in this hour and
Yep.
really edit it and make it better than editing the book or voice recording, somebody else could do that. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? So once you start to figure out like, oh, my time is really more valuable, I can do these other things.
Yep.
Listen,
It's the
then
truth.
then you're scaling.
Man, so let's even talk about scale a little bit more. I remember the day that my wife and I decided to hire a property manager. For those of you getting into the real estate game, if there's anything I could change, I would have obviously understood numbers better, understood the game better. But then the second thing I would have done is hired a property manager, because you're trying to save. I don't know what the rates are in Philly. I paid, the last I remember when I was there was like 6%, 7%. But you're trying to save 6-7% on rent, so you don't got to collect rent and handle, so you can save money on rent. Listen, man, those phone calls, the stress of managing a property, especially if you live in a multifamily and you live in your building, it ain't worth it, man. It is better to expand scale. And I remember the day we just made that decision and we hired a property manager. I told my wife, I said, this is a liberating feeling to know that I can work on finding more property while having someone manage the property we got. That changes everything. Collect my rent. They post the rent. They pay my bills. That property manager was paying my car note, paying my taxes, paying everything that mattered to me. So I was able to release any responsibility I had and focus on gaining new clients or gaining new sales. And I think for any business owner trying to scale, you got to allow folks to do what they're good at. I mean, something as simple, Herman, you said it earlier, but people don't think of this as a member of your team. Facebook ads and Instagram ads are part of your team. So if we were in church, I would tell you, touch a neighbor and say hello, somebody, because you pay Facebook to use their algorithm. You may argue and say, "No, Herman, I can post every day, 5 times a day." No, you can't, because as you mess around with the kids, mess around with your spouse, mess around with the job, mess around driving, going from here, there, and everywhere, you will forget to post on the schedule. If it's not Facebook ads, then you got to pay Hootsuite or some other program to do it for you. Use the stuff on your team. Use systems. Systems are part of the team that help you get to where you're trying to go. Don't be afraid to invest.
Reinvest the fund. Listen, it's part of my budget. 20% of whatever I make goes back into marketing or reinvesting in my company, whether it's the $20 that's going to go in my car to go drive to an event, or put the money away. So if I'm out of town, I need a hotel. So yes, reinvesting that money into your business. Let that be part of your initial habits.
Yes.
Just because you made $100 doesn't mean the $100 is yours. Don't let me try to preach right now. Because technically 90 of the dollars is yours, because you gotta get 10% to tithing, right? Then you gotta give another 25% to Uncle Sam, right? Then you gotta give another 15% to the savings of your business, for i.e. Reinvesting back in your company, and maybe 40 cents of that dollar is yours. So if you have that habit in the beginning, you'll be a lot richer in the end. Trust me.
Yep, man. I ain't gonna start preaching, man, because we'll be here all day. Lord have mercy.
Okay.
This feedback, this conversation, the shows we've done, is good for nonprofits and for-profit businesses. Is there any additional advice you want to leave with us when it comes to financing the business and launching the business, credit impacting the business? I mean, anything you want to leave with us?
So 2 things I want to leave with you before I talk about the funding. To the entrepreneurs listening out there, that are discouraged or looking for whatever you're looking for, be consistent. Listen, I'm a Christian first, so give us this day our daily bread. It is daily with your business. So, every day, 6 days a week, give it 100%. Because when it happens, it looks like it was overnight, but it wasn't. It was you being consistent all the time. Now, any businesses out there, I know a lot of times people are struggling in terms of trying to fund their business. Listen, this is what I do time and time again. One of the things I like to remind clients is to please, get your credit together. No matter what you're going to do in life, get your credit together, because it's one of the great divides that we have out there. But once your credit is in a much better place, the access to resources is absolutely incredible. Like I have some business plans that are coming up this summer, but I know that I can walk into a bank and get $50,000 in business credit. Like I don't have the $50,000 in the bank account right now, but I know I can get it very, very cheaply. So, once you have your credit in order, business credit comes a lot easier. They give you larger sums of money, and it can definitely help finance your dreams. When money isn't an issue, your imagination takes over.
Herman, this goes for nonprofit leaders too, man. I think the key word you just said was access. When I lost my business, I swore off banks and debt, and I shared that story with you, and the Lord opened doors for me to run my real estate business cash. There are limitations to that. There are benefits to that as well. But I think what you hit on is access. It is access to facilitate transactions. And
I like that. Yeah.
There are so many stories I can tell you just because of access. You can write yourself into deals without spending any of your money or impacting your credit or your business. Just because of the idea of access. I can't say it enough, man.
Can't say it enough, man. Very true.
Man, so I don't know if I got anything to add to this because I think I could talk to you for another couple of hours, man. But this was good. I hope that folks replay this conversation from the very first episode to this episode, and I hope that they get the stuff together. Herman, how can people get a hold of you if they're looking just to get their credit fixed, and or if they're looking to launch a business and they need to access business finance? And tell us where we can find you, how we can get a hold of you.
So a couple of ways you can get in touch with me. You can find me on Instagram, Haitian_CEO, Haitian_CEO. You could click the link in the bio and you could set an appointment with me directly and I will call you personally, or you can email me at info@bellasloanenterprises.com. That is info@BELLASLOANENTERPRISES.com. Or you can call or text me at 609-832-3552. Thank you so much, Dr. Clark, for having me again.
Herman, you're the best, my friend.
All right, man. You have a great evening. Goodbye, everyone.